Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 12, and today we are returning with two games as we take on Peterborough United and also Burton Albion away from home, both in the Championship. Before we play these games, though, share how Mill have been getting on off camera. So, of course, in the last episode, you saw our 2-0 defeat away in Wales against Swansea and our 2-0 victory over Blackburn at home as well. I then played 10 games off camera, and the best way of describing our run of form is inconsistent, and you'll be hearing that word an awful lot throughout this series, I'm sure. We started with back-to-back 2-1 defeats away and at home to Hull City and then against Newcastle as well. Our loss to Hull was a 2-1 defeat, a frustrating one to cake on where the Jagger did score a lovely goal for us 10 minutes in, but sadly, as Tamori made it 2-1. Hull got the win and a big 3 points there. And then our loss to Newcastle at home was very disappointing indeed. They were leading the league at this point. Mitrovic gave them the early goal. Then Bakuna scored an own goal for us as we were back on level terms. And then in stoppage time, would have been totally satisfied with a point. But Asano broke our hearts and gave the Magpies the 3 points. Following that, though, a very impressive win away at Ellen Road as we beat Leeds United by 4-2, where Steve Morrison scored the first hat-trick of the series against his former team, so you better believe I was delighted about that. A really great win for us. Always good to beat Leeds, but to have Morrison score a hat-trick as well, even sweeter a feeling in a really good win. And a Joel's brace counted for nothing in the end, but sadly a 1-0 loss followed as we lost to Aston Villa. Another frustrating late defeat as Jonathan Kodjia gave the visitors the win with a really deft finish with 5 minutes to go. But back-to-back victories followed and back-to-back clean sheets followed as well for the first time this season. We beat Blackpool, who are rock bottom right now, by 3-0. Gregor scoring inside the first 2 minutes and Elliott scoring. And Cameron Carter-Vickers in stoppage time scoring his first goal for the club since arriving on loan. And then at home, a 4-0 victory over Reading followed, perhaps our best win of the series, where Carter-Vickers scored again. 2 goals in 2 for Cam. Gregory scored as well, 2 and 2 for him as well. Plus O'Brien scored 2 in the game as well, as we collected a big 4-0 victory over the Royals. However, our last 4 games, 1 point from a possible 12 and 3 defeats from 4. We started with a 4-1 loss to informed Brentford at Griffin Park. Just a terrible, terrible defeat where Tunnicliffe was sent off 2 yellow cards 44 minutes in as well. Peter Crouch did grab a consolation goal for us with 2 minutes to go and his first goal in the Championship, but sadly it came in vain after he latched onto a through ball like against Swansea and finished it home. And then a 2-2 draw at home to Norwich as well, in a pretty interesting game where Norwich took the lead, then we equalised and they took the lead again, but in the 91st minute Crouch bailed us out to give us a point. 2 goals in 2 for the veteran striker. A really great finish as well by the lanky forward as we claimed a point and a pretty impressive result against a playoff team. But sadly back-to-back defeats did follow to end the run off camera. A 2-0 loss away at the Riverside against Middlesbrough where both goals came from corners. We concede so many goals from corners, it's so frustrating. And then a 4-2 defeat away at the Hawthorns against West Brom. They've now beaten us 3 times out of 3 and I believe scored, 10 goals against us in the 3 games as well? Not good. We did well to battle back from 3 goals down to make it 3-2, but Ings' second goal of the game confirmed the 3 points for the Baggies as we tasted defeat once again. So quite a struggling run of form. No wins in our last 4 and again just 1 point picked up, which means that right now in the table, as you can see, we have currently dropped down to 18th place, 24 games in, so 1 game past the halfway stage, and we are a whopping 14 points off of the playoffs. It's looking highly unlikely we'll have any chance of making the top 6 this season, but we knew that was the case heading into the season regardless. As I said last season, mid-table security is what we're aiming for in the first 2-3 seasons, and right now we're in the bottom half and not doing too well, so we need to pick it up as we're only 6 points off the bottom 3. As for the FA Cup third round, that has been drawn, and you may have noticed it in the fixtures. You'll never believe who we got. It's Crystal Palace once again, this time away at Selhurst Park, so not fancying our chances in this South London derby on the road, despite knocking them out last season at the Den. And as for transfer news, as the window is going to open in today's episode, there is something that is worth pointing out. Jordan Archer has had major interest from 2 clubs, now just a 1. Bournemouth, Newcastle were interested as well, and there's a very good chance that our number 1 might be leaving, which would be such a shame because in his new contract we agreed last season, he's got a minimum fee release clause of £4.8 million, and of course as the Cherries are in the Premier League, they can match that whenever they like. So a little bit concerned there. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, first game today, it is indeed the Posh here at the Den, and after a really struggling mini run of form, we could do with a return to winning ways. Right now, a couple of players are injured. Morrison is down for the second time already this season and out for about 2 or 3 weeks. And also 2 players are away on international duty. James Meredith, our left back, and Ashkanda Jagger, our new signing, both away at the Asians Cup. Is it called the Asians Cup? The Asians Nation Cup right now with Australia and Iran, respectively. So this is our team for the game, 4-4-2 with our standard instructions, which I'm definitely thinking about changing in January or February if we continue to struggle. And our lineup is as follows. Freddie Woodman is in goal. He's back for Toffolo, Hutchinson, Cooper and Romeo, with our midfield 4 O'Brien on the left due to the Ferguson injury. Still injured, yeah, he is. Ronnie Dimmer on the right, Tunnicliffe and Williams through the middle, with Crouch and Gregors up top together. And on the bench, Archer, Carter, Vickers, McLaughlin, Thompson, Saville, Wallace even, and Tom Elliott as well. So first game, it is Peterborough. Let's get the win. We could really use with one. Come on, you Lions. I don't think we will be in a relegation fight this season, but there is a definite chance it will happen if we keep on playing so poorly in this mini run of form. And if we lose both our games today, as Brian has just scored an absolute wonderful goal for the Posh to give the newly promoted side the lead. If we lose this game and then lose to Burton Albion as well, we could drop as low as 20th place and only be a couple of points off of the bottom 3. So there is a bit of concern right now. I thought we'd improved our team slightly from last season, not by much, but instead we're playing worse than last season and beginning to struggle. But that's a lovely goal by Brian, though, lifts it over Freddie Woodman and into the roof of the net. So the Posh have the early lead here at the Den, and our struggling season continues, and we just can't stop conceding, man. We are all over the place at the back. Well, we are approaching the break, and Toffolo has just gone down, and this is a major concern because we are without James Meredith until about February. So Connor's going to come on. There's no Ferguson either, so we'll have to play McLaughlin as a left back. And this is quite worrying right now. We got players down already. 2 players were on international duty until February. We're not playing well. We're really struggling at the back. We're not creating much. And at the moment, things are not getting better for the Lions. So half-time is here. We're trailing by 1, and as things stand, we are looking very nervously over our shoulders as we continue to drop down the table and continue to lose games in quick succession. Only 5 points off the bottom 3 right now. This is very worrying indeed. We could well be in a relegation scrap in our second season. So second highlight of the game comes 64 minutes in as we are still trailing by 1. And sadly, it does look as though it will come to the visitors as Carnu latches onto a through ball and Woodman makes a very, very impressive stop on the 1-on-1 to keep us just trailing by 1. But this is worrying, man. We are all over the place. We're out of form. We're out of confidence. Something needs to change. So we've now into stoppage time. We're still trailing by 1. And it seems as though, despite beating Peterborough at London Road, they're going to come to our house and get the win themselves. So a very disappointing loss as Khan, who could have headed them into a 2-goal lead. And yeah, I'm worried. Now I'm just going to come out and say I'm very worried indeed. I thought after last season finishing in 10th, it was a really great debut season for us, reaching the FA Cup quarterfinals as well. But this season, things have just not worked out, and instead of improving, we're actually regressing. But this is the good thing about Football Manager. It's the fact that progression in an FM save is far more difficult than in a FIFA career mode. In FIFA career mode, progress in time is pretty much always linear. But in Football Manager, every single season, you've got to really be on your game to improve your team. And that is just something that at the moment we're not doing. Our poor form continues, 5 matches in a row without winning, just 1 point picked up from 15. Toffolo is now for 2 to 3 weeks as well. That is a major concern. So hopefully what we can do is play Stephen Quinn at left back, or perhaps Ferguson if he's ready for the next game. And that's probably the best way of doing this. But we've got Burton Albion next to the Pirelli. They are just below us just above us now in the table because they've won against Preston. So they're above us by a point. And if we lose this game, I'm going to be very concerned indeed. So December is over. We're ending it in a really horrible fashion. But new year and a chance to get our form sorted. Come on, you Lions. So the transfer window is open. Don't expect us to do much in this window because, as you can see, our finances are continuing to decrease month after month. I just can't stop this from happening. And I know come the end of the season it always increases, but it's so annoying that right now we just don't have any money to work with. And I think that's one thing that you should take into consideration when you think about our struggles throughout the series so far. We don't have much money at all. And when you compare our current finances to our division rivals, we've got a much worse situation that we're currently in right now. The other teams in the division have got money to spend and they've got money to give players good contracts. We don't have that. We've got to be very careful with our pennies, and that puts us at a big disadvantage. So, it's Burton Albion for the second and final game today on the 1st of January, and my word, do we need a win. So let's make some changes heading into the game. We'll stick with the 4-4-2, but we shall alter our lineup a bit. McLaughlin can come in for Romeo. We'll play Carter Vickers, who, to be fair, has not done too badly for Cooper. I think we'll also give Saville a start ahead of Tunnicliffe through the middle. And is Ferguson ready to start? Not really, but I'd like to give him a game because he's been one of our best players throughout the series, and hopefully that won't exacerbate the injury there. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And I might give Elliott a start up top alongside Gregors and see what Tom can do. And I'll give Crouch the day off. And hopefully he can rest and recover. And Wallace Ronudimmer, who's been very poor throughout the entire series so far. Okay, so second game. Come on, you Lions. We desperately need a win. Archer's in goal, back for a Quinn. Oh, dear. Hutchinson, Carter, Vickers, and McLaughlin. That's not a good sign, is it? When you go through the lineup and you say, oh, dear, on one of your players. Midfield 4 is Shane on the left, Wallace on the right, and in the middle, Saville and Williams. And up top, it's going to be Tom Elliott and Lee Gregory, with the bench being Freddie Woodman, Jake Cooper, Marlon Romeo, Thompson, Tunnicliffe, Dimmer, and Aidan O'Brien. So, second game, it's a big relegation 6-pointer. It's Burton Albion to Pirelli. We need a win. Come on, you Lions. First highlight does come to Millwall. Ferguson's corner dealt with temporarily, but George Saville fires it in. And that is the perfect start to a must-win game. Ferguson's corner whipped in. I've got to say one thing I'm noticing about this year's FM. There are a lot of goals that get scored from corners and crosses to the box. This one failed to be dealt with by our hosts, and Saville fires it home. So 1-0 to the Lions. Perfect start. Let's not throw this away, because these 3 points will be absolutely massive. So another highlight coming to Burton Albion. Saville with the tackle though does well, and now a chance to perhaps break here. It's Tom Elliott down the left-hand side with a lovely through ball to Gregors. Oh, go on, Lee. Go on, Lee. Go on, Lee. Yes, puts it in. And there is our second goal. Lee Gregory assisted by Tom Elliott, in the team rarely, but is today, and justifies his selection with a lovely through ball. And Lee would have finished doubles our lead. So clinical start to the game. 26 minutes in, 2 chances, 2 goals, and Gregors with the finish there puts us 2 goals to the good. So long way to go. But this is what we needed in the first half. A good display in front of goal, and with 2 goals up. Come on, you Lions. So half-time is here. Going to say nothing at the break, as always. One thing which I think is so OP in Football Manager, and has always been OP, at least in my experience, is team meetings. Because prior to the game, I gave one, and I said, we're not playing well, but keep your heads up, and that raises the morale of your squad. I always find that straight after a team meeting, we pretty much always win, or at least get a point in the very next game. And as things stand right now, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like it will be the former, because we're into the second half, we're approaching the final half an hour, we're still leading by 2, and right now we're looking relatively comfortable. So we are now approaching the final few moments of the game, and bar an almighty collapse, Millwall are going to respond with a huge 3 points here. Crucial interception by Carter Vickers, who's played very well today, was on an 8.0 prior to this highlight, and that may well have improved there. And we have improved our run of form with a really big win here after such a poor run, where we only picked up 1 point from a possible 15. That is now going to raise us back up to 15th place in the table as well. 31 points will be 8 points off the bottom 3, where Sheffield Wednesday occupied a 22nd position. And whilst we will be 12 points off the playoffs, like I said, I don't expect that from our first 2 or 3 seasons. I'm just fine making sure we stay in this division, and hopefully we stay away from the bottom 3 for the entire rest of the season. I don't want to be in a relegation scrap this season. I really, really don't. So big win there for the Lions. Absolutely delighted. And the perfect way to end what was a really horrible run of form, as we now, again, we've got to 15th place, and there is confirmation for you with the league table. Oh, yes, we needed that. So, thank you very much for watching today's episode, guys. We'll end it there. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like, as likes are, of course, very much appreciated. We shall return. I'm not going to play the Crystal Palace game. I expect us to lose that one away at Selhurst Park, so I won't come back for that one. What I'll do is I'll tell you what we'll do. If we do any signings in the January window, we'll come back for the final game against Birmingham at home, and then Preston away at Deepdale. If not, we'll play through January, and we'll go into either February or March, and we'll come back with We could do QPR at home and Sheffield Wednesday away at Hillsborough. That could be quite a big game there if we concede a struggle. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's do QPR at home and Sheffield Wednesday away in the next episode. If we've made no signings or no changes to our team in January, but if we have, we'll come back for Birmingham and Preston. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a fantastic evening. Much love to you all. And I will see you for the next episode of our Football Manager series, where hopefully we'll have more wins like that Burton Albion game very soon. Bye.